Hey guys, what's going on? Damian Forrester here, and I'm with Vanessa Romero. I am so excited to be sitting down with her because we have some great information from this woman that is the owner of the Bighorn Bottle Shop and Wine in Anaconda. Is that right?
Yeah, we are in Anaconda.
All right. So she has a space that's quickly become like the cornerstone of like community connection and elevating hospitality in Montana. We just talked a little bit about that, and I'm really excited that we're going to hear more about that. We're pretty grateful to have her hosting the Montana Real Estate Summit and kickoff in February 19th. And she's opening doors to bring our agents and people together for in a very meaningful way. So we're really excited to have you. And enough about me talking about you. I want to hear a lot from you. So can you tell us a little bit more about your personal journey? And you says here that you earned an MBA in wine certification, working international. There's a lot to unpack here, so I'll let you tell us your origin story.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for doing this, first of all. Yeah, the Bighorn has been open for just about 3 years now. I have lived in Anaconda for 9 years. So I originally am from small mountain town, very much grew up in that sort of lifestyle. And but kind of stumbled into the wine industry accidentally. It wasn't something I was actively pursuing, but it ended up being my whole career and my whole life. So yes, went on and got, as you mentioned, I went and got my education at various places throughout the country and did get my MBA, and then ended up stumbling into the wine industry. I had an interest in international business and I studied languages. And so it actually flowed into that career path very well, even though it wasn't an active pursuit of wine initially. I lived and worked for wineries across the world in different places. And yeah, I lived on the East Coast, I lived in Europe, I lived in South America. I was helping with wineries on originally more so on the business side. I was pursuing that, but once you get the bug for all of it. And I think what I was really attracted to about wine is it is so all encompassing. It is about a country and people and history and language that I was very interested in. It is obviously so much about food and bringing people together. There's definitely the business side. And I personally came from an ag community and an ag background. So I was really attracted to that side of the wine industry as well. So that is what brought me to wine. And the more you get into it, the more you learn about it, it is easier to catch that bug, as I said. So I ended up spending my whole career in the wine industry and living all over the place. I didn't know what that meant for my future because I also had the long-term goal of getting back to this sort of small town mountain life. And I think a piece of me assumed that I would have this amazing career in the wine industry, and that would be that phase of life. And then when I got back to this phase of life and wanted to move on to, settling down more and having a family and all of those things that I thought they might be separate things, but I was just really fortunate that I was able to combine them into one. So,
That's
yeah.
that's a rich story. I mean, from there, I have so many detailed questions I want you to
Oh man, yeah.
dive
That's a very high
into a little
level.
bit more. So, different languages. You speak different languages, or it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fluent in Spanish. I have survivable Italian, and I am currently studying French, which is a big step
Outstanding.
in just, the phonetics and the different sounds that they have. I think once you learn one language, especially Latin-based languages, it's easy to understand how they come together, but man, Italian and Spanish have similar phonetics, and so French is the next one I'm trying to tackle. And
Kudos to you. I got one. Tried to learn Swedish. I went to France. I learned a little bit of that, but that's a long story. I got nothing except for escargot, probably. I'm not even sure if that's French. Um, so and this is off topic a little bit. So are you a sommelier? Is that the term? Or
Yes, correct, I am.
okay. Well, can you define that for us and tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so sommelier is this catchy term that people know for wine professionals. And a sommelier is there's actually various wine certification programs that you can go through
Okay.
to get certified in wine. And the Masters of the Court of Sommeliers is one of those programs. So that is really amazing. It is very focused on, in all of the programs, there is a lot of wine education, obviously. There is a lot of tasting and perfecting your palate to be able to identify certain wines and flavor profiles and grapes. The difference with this being a sommelier in that certification program compared to the others is there's also a big emphasis on hospitality and the service industry. And so most people who go that route, they might aspire to work in a fine dining restaurant in a large city or manage a beverage program and things like that. The other programs don't have that service element to it, but they have just as much education and both in terms of the book knowledge and the palate and the tasting as well. So there
Wow.
are lots of certification levels, and it's something that's very fun and exciting. And there's just so much you can learn about wine. You can really go down a rabbit hole if you
Oh, I
choose
can
to.
imagine.
Um, and it's ultimately it's just fun and it's sharing and wine is mostly about community and people and bringing people together. And so, yeah.
Beautiful. So I'm assuming there's a small community of sommeliers in Montana. I mean, obviously, this is not New York or California to say that, we have this large industry of sommeliers. But do you have a small group that gets together or that you're part of?
There's definitely a group of wine professionals and sommeliers in Montana. And I would say that those that live in more populated areas get together more regularly than I do over here on my island in Anaconda.
The
Um,
island.
but we do a lot of wine education. We do a lot of wine tasting. That's a big part of what we do with our staff and with the people in our community who are interested in that. And so I've done a lot of that in my life and career. And here in Anaconda, in this phase of life with young kids and everything, there's less the meeting up with high level sommeliers that's happening right now,
Right.
but that's always a part of the fun of it. So
Well, I love that you're bringing, fine wine of the world to, a place in Montana that probably not many people are aware of. So kudos to you. I mean, I feel like you should be this woman that's traveling Montana, teaching people about wine. That's my vibe. That's awesome. So thank you very much for what you're doing. Um, so right before we went live here, I thought this was a background the where we're at right now. This is
yeah,
such a beautiful space, and I can't wait to see it in person here in about a month. I think we're at this point, and
yeah.
so for people that have not been there, how would you describe your look and your feel of the environment that you have right now at your venue?
It is it is very elevated, rustic meets wine cellar, I would say. When I was designing it, I wanted it to feel very warm and cozy. I didn't want it to feel like a retail store, even though we have retail.
Right.
I didn't want it to feel just like a bar, even though we have a bar. I wanted it to feel like you were walking into a tasting room at a winery. And so that is a very cozy feel with all of the brick and the history here. There's brick arches and everything. It feels like you're in a cellar, actually, like almost like a European wine cellar, but there's still lots of wood and rustic Montana elements. And so the goal has always been to make it feel elevated, but still Montana
Love it.
and comfortable. Even going into when I was naming it, it was really important to me, not just in the branding, but in the whole vibe of everything that we do, that it felt very nice, but not intimidating.
Right.
So I didn't want to name it like terroir or something that, if you were born and raised in Anaconda, Montana, and haven't ever left and haven't even ever really been exposed to wine, that you would feel uncomfortable walking in. And so the Bighorn, I was basically like, what is something that I think of that is just indicative of this area that feels local? And we have lots of Bighorn sheep all over this area. So Bighorn Bottle Shop is where it started. And I think that concept and branding it has been the same concept I've taken in the design and the culture and what we try to create with our staff and community and everything.
Oh man, that's wonderful. And I'm glad this is a great segue to talk about community. Seems like, and what I'm reading on your site, you do special events, host parties. Tell us a little bit about that. Your pint nights, you working with nonprofits. There's a lot there.
Yeah, there is a lot. I think this day and age, people are looking for community, and businesses in small towns aren't just businesses, they're shaping the culture of that area. And with the history of Anaconda, where, when the smelter was operating and the mine in Butte, it like was just thriving and this very vibrant town. And then when that closed, the town almost, died for a while. And it's been on this like really awesome survival story recovery path. And there's so much energy and it's so vibrant in Anaconda. And so we really wanted to be a piece of that. And I think every new business in every small town propels the next one and propels the excitement, enthusiasm of the area. So being a place that not only can you come and have a drink and shop, but that has events and is bringing people together is really important to us. And I think as somebody who is not from here originally, I certainly felt that when I relocated here. I love the area, and everyone in the community is so wonderful. But I think anytime you move to any new area as an adult, and especially a smaller community, it takes a bit to find your place, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, and I really wanted anybody else who is new to the area, and longtime locals as well, of course, but I want them to come in here and feel like, hey, we are not only here offering like cool experiences and product, but like, are you new? What's your story? Where are you from? Have you met this person yet? We really try to not just help create community with events, but be a place where we can connect people and people can find relationships, and they can find their people and
Right.
find their life here. And I think that what Anaconda has always offered, which is an amazing community and the outdoor access and all of those things, combined with having that openness and welcoming quality, that is going to shape so much of the culture here. And we've definitely tried to be a big piece of that.
I love those terms that you use between networking and culture. Because as a realtor here in Billings, Montana, coming here, one of the things I try to strive is bringing people, businesses together. Because you never know, a lot of things happen in places like yours, at
Yeah.
those tables, not just business hotels or conferences or anything, but in your space. So thank you for doing that. That's awesome. Uh,
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm doing it for our community and other people, but I'm doing it for myself too.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
of course. Yeah,
it's
gotta be a little something.
yeah, I would say that many of my, closest friends and peers have come through this business. So I hope that it is as rewarding for everybody else as it has been for me.
Yeah. Well, as a person I can't wait to visit, like I said before, do you currently have annual and weekly events that you can share with us, for those that are watching?
Yes, we have many events. We have a very current updated website with an events tab that's updated regularly, so anybody can always go and see those. We have some of our annual events that we do every year are in the summer, we do a rosé all day tasting. We do a very big holiday tasting every November where the whole point is you come in and you get a sample through 30 plus wines and choose the ones that you want to have around for your holiday season. And so then we order those in for people. You have them before Thanksgiving and you're kind of all set through the holiday season. We are just this year launching our first ever festival that we're partnering with Discovery Ski Hill right up
I
the.
see it right now. Ski food, wine, and beer. That sounds like fun.
And now music. We have music going on, live music too. So it'll be the first annual. There's 250 tickets. It is at Discovery Ski Hill, but we've partnered with them in doing that. So that's obviously a big one. And those are some of our big ones, but we do ongoing tasting events. We're doing this weekend, we partner probably 3 times a year, both with a local Italian trained chef and the hostel in town. And we do a cooking and wine class and gathering there. We do that, like I said, multiple times a year. That's a really great one. Um, yeah, there are just things that are going on. We do free tasting events. We have a really thriving wine and beer club. And that those are not only like the tastings, the pickup parties that we have, but it's just a really great way to get to know really great people.
Yeah.
So yes, there are events happening all of the time. We do live music. But we do it a little bit different. Most bars that offer live music, it's more of a corner of the bar situation where you're enjoying yourself and it's background music.
Right.
And those are really wonderful, but we wanted to do something a bit more intimate. So we call it our listening room, where we bring in different artists and performers and you pay for a specific seat, and we have an hour and a half of being social and enjoying food and beverages, and then an hour of just sitting and listening, and then another hour following that where you get to be social and meet the artists. So we have those listening room events that go on all the time. But yes, there's lots of events.
Oh,
That's definitely a big
wow.
piece of what we do.
I'm just thinking right now, I really wish you would expand and come here in Billings. That I mean, it's amazing. I love your venue. I can't wait to visit you and seeing all that you have over there. But thank you so much. We're going to wrap this up a little bit, but we're really thrilled to have you at the Montana Real Estate Summit. So, what would you hope to the attendees take away from experiencing your business there during the summit?
I love combining actually real estate with this business because I think the whole concept of making people feel welcome to a new place is obviously like perfectly aligned with real estate. It's not always newcomers, of course, but oftentimes it is. And so we're very excited to host everybody and honored that you are interested in doing an event here as well. And we've set up a free tasting event for everybody to come and participate in. And we, I hope that the same, culture that we try to create can also play into what you all try to do as realtors in terms of being welcoming and creating beautiful community and all of that as well. We're very excited to host everyone. Obviously, Billings and Anaconda, there's a little bit of distance there, but in terms, we actually have multiple people from Billings who are in our wine club.
Good.
And yeah, we offer storage for people as well. So if the others in the real estate summit are interested in being more of a part of the Bighorn, the wine club and the events, the wine classes. I do a lot of wine education. That there's one couple specifically I'm thinking of that lives in Billings, travels over here for every wine class I teach. But we offer free storage, so it doesn't matter if you come to Anaconda 1 or 2 times a year. We store wine in our cellar for anybody that you can pick up at your convenience. And so sharing that community, sharing that culture, and getting everybody as involved as they may want to be, knowing that there is what is it, a 4 hour distance drive between.
Yeah, I would say, and the great thing is that for all of us is that we are also going to have some people from other states, surrounding states, and nationally coming to visit your area.
Oh,
So I'm really
nice.
excited to share that with them too, to show Montana in general how much culture we do have, and that when
Yeah,
we talk
we
about
have it.
yeah, no, we definitely have it here too. But I'm telling you, I'm a big fan of yours right now. Loving your space, loving what you're doing. So, I did have another question. So, do you have any big plans, anything coming up in the future for Bighorn?
Yeah, always.
Maybe you don't want to share it right now, but that's okay. But
No, no, we know we definitely can. So we actually were closed the first week of January. We've been doing some updates back here in the back section and taking out some of our retail section and moving in more of a lounge area back there. We have I when I launched, so I launched Wine Club in Anaconda about 6 years ago, so before the Bighorn existed. And I didn't know it was going to lead to all of this, but here we are. We also had a beer club back then. And when we opened the shop, the beer club got put on hold so we could just focus on one thing at a time. And we have actually just relaunched Beer Club as well. And so we have that big launch that's going on for Beer Club with the beer lounge going on in the back also. And there's always things that are brewing. But
I
those are
love that. I like that little pun there, brewing.
yeah, I would say those two things along with we're calling it a Taste of Disco, the festival that we're doing at Discovery. That is something that we intend on making an annual event. And it's going to be really cool to bring some of what we do here to the top of a ski hill and hopefully it will be both wine and beer, some food, music, all those things, but reach, maybe a slightly demographic for us and also for them. It's March 28th, so spring skiing can tend to slow down at ski hills. And so our hope is doing that will bring a lot more people to them also. And so, yeah, those are the big things at the
Oh,
moment.
geez, I might just bring my wife and my family up there just to
You
hang.
should
That
make
sounds like a
it
good time. And we
make
haven't even
it
talked about the beer and stuff that you have yet, but um, gosh, there's so much more to talk about. But where can people reach out to you? How can people find you on your socials? Tell us if people wanted to contact you, how can we do that?
Our website is bighornbottleshop.com. We have a very good website, a very current website.
It's pretty dope. I like it a lot. I'm
You
looking at it
can
now.
find information on there about our events, what it looks like if you want to host a private event, just all about our wine club and our beer club. There's a lot of helpful information on there. After that, the best way to contact us is really through email, which is bighornbottleshop@gmail.com. That ensures that we have a staff. It's myself, we have a full-time manager, and we have 6 other people on staff. And reaching out via email is the way we will ensure that we're able to get back to you most quickly and efficiently. And beyond that, we definitely do social media and all those things as well. These days, there's so many forms of communication that it can be really easy to lose messages because you're like, which of these 97 platforms did I receive this message on? So we always try to encourage people, send us an email first that we will guarantee we get back to you.
So give us your Instagram handle. I'm assuming you may have one.
Yes, it's Bighorn Bottle Shop.
Bighorn Bottle Shop. Easy enough. So
Uh,
anything else you want to leave us with? before we take off?
Oh man, I think if
A lot
you
already.
are excited about boutique wine, craft beer, import beer, and not just the beverages, but everything that comes along with that, which is again also food and oftentimes is indicative of just being interested in the world and all that that entails as well, then we would love to have you as a part of our community. That is certainly something that we share with others. But on the flip side, if you know absolutely nothing about wine or beer, or you don't even drink alcohol, we have a giant non-alcoholic section that is a very important movement going on in people's lives right now as well. We have lots of non-alcoholic options on our menu, behind the bar, and in our retail section. And so it doesn't have to be about the alcohol. If you are just more interested in the community and the culture, we would love to have you be a part of who we are also.
It's a great way to end. Thank you very much for sharing that because you're right. There is a lot of people out there that don't drink, maybe recovering or doing other things in their lives. And for you to have that option, that's fantastic. So thank you again for
Yeah.
sharing. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for giving us all that information and in a space like Anaconda, which you're just making culture thrive. So thank you very much. All right. Well, thank you. We'll talk to you later, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Thanks, Damien.
Have a good one.